Well, since last time, it's interesting you bring up Bill Cosby, right? Because I actually interviewed Tom Mesereau, who was the lawyer for Bill Cosby, right? He was also Michael Jackson's lawyer in his 2005 case.
Yeah.
Which he won. Now, the Bill Cosby case got lost. But he said something very interesting, and I actually looked all this up afterwards.
Yeah.
So essentially what he said was the Bill Cosby case was the most unfair trial he's ever participated.
Yes.
This was the most unfair trial of my career. Consider the following. First of all, they did not file the case in time. It's what is called a statute of limitations issue. You have to file a case in a certain amount of time, or you can't file it at all. We did our research and proved they didn't file this case on time. We filed our motion and all our evidence, and the judge refused to have a hearing on statute of limitations. That's what we call a jurisdictional issue. The case should never have been tried. There was no jurisdiction, but the judge wouldn't even have a hearing on that. Second of all, the prior district attorney of Montgomery County testified under oath that he made an agreement with Mr. Cosby's prior lawyers that Cosby would not be prosecuted, and because he was not going to be prosecuted, he should take a civil deposition. And that former district attorney to this day maintains, I entered into a binding agreement not to prosecute him. There was a hearing on that agreement, and the trial judge ruled that the former DA was incredible.
Because essentially what happened was there was a civil case back in the day where a girl claims that Bill Cosby, drugged her or whatever. It was a civil case. There was a deposition, and there was a deal made with the DA that there will never be, that this will be sealed forever, and there won't be any charges brought up for Cosby in terms of this particular case. Now, fast forward to however many years, there's a judge who's in charge of Bill Cosby's case who hates that DA with a fucking passion.
Right.
The two of them were arch enemies. They both ran for DA. The judge lost. And then the DA brought up some sort of case where the judge was cheating with someone, I guess, like in his offices. And the whole thing got brought up, and the DA made the woman that he was cheating with sit next to his wife and do all this other kind of humiliating shit, right? So then when the trial came up, the judge was like, oh, the DA said that he's going to seal this and it's never going to come out? Fuck him. I'm unsealing it. And then that opened up the whole thing to Bill Cosby becoming found, was found guilty in a court of law because the judge threw all this out that was supposed to be actually completely, put together legally because he hates that DA so much.
Yes. And the phrase was taken out of context, by the way. I mean, I could pull any phrase and go, Vlad, you said here, faggot. Did you not say it? Well, I said it, but I was talking to Faizon about cancel. Did you say it, Vlad?
Right. I was quoting Eddie Murphy. Doesn't matter. Did you say it?
You said it right here.
There you go. Roll the tape.
Roll it. And they're going to just, and that's the same thing with that whole shit is a sham.
Right. But you know another part of this situation, which is interesting, because I actually brought in the private investigator that was on Bill Cosby's case. And what he told me, which I didn't remember, was after Cosby was found guilty, before the sentencing happened, Cosby's wife thought it was a good idea to write a really nasty letter to the judge, calling the judge racist and saying how it was unfair and all that. Well, one of the things that you said, which was kind of interesting, was Bill Cosby's wife wrote a letter, a very angry letter to the judge before the sentencing.
Again, by that time we had been fired. I don't know what she was thinking. Again, I only dealt with her the one day. The closing arguments, she showed up. I don't know what she could have been thinking, antagonizing or calling names or notice, claims of corruption to a judge, 3 hours before he's sentencing your husband to as much as 10 years. I don't know who told her this would be a good idea. It was an incredibly stupid idea, obviously.
And they think that because of that letter, that's why Cosby got all those years. It ultimately should have been just whatever, probation or a few months.
As a wife, she should have did that. No,
yes
because
and no.
There's law, and then as a wife, she has nothing to do with the case. That's like you writing in saying blah, 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 blah. She has nothing to do with the jurisdiction, nothing to do with the case, but because the law is bullshit, they go, hey, you wrote this letter, Mrs. Cosby? He shouldn't be in jail anyway.
Yes. But you have to understand that you're dealing with human beings.
Exactly. So fuck
have
the
feelings
law. So
and
there
emotions.
is no law.
Right. I get it. But what I'm saying is this was not a great move to do before the sentencing. Now, if you want to do it after the sentencing, or if you want to go on a fucking tirade and say, fuck this judge,
I hear what you're saying.
It's cool.
Hindsight is 20/20. But as a woman who's been with this man for 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? She's feeling something. She's like, before you even sentence, this is how I feel. Because I think I know how this is going to run. And I didn't talk to her about it or nothing. I'm just saying that's just a real that's a real person. You're dealing with real people.